the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news that happened during the week February 4 to February 10, 2011. As the hunt for Lois Lane continues, the name Christina Anapau has once again resurfaced as a contender for the part in the upcoming new Superman movie. ComicBookMovie.com contacted the Black Swan actress to see if there was any truth to the rumour, and she said, "I'm not sure I'm at liberty to talk about that just now." Variety.com reported early in the week that Alice Eve, Diane Kruger and Rosamund Pike were all competing for a female lead role in the movie that wasn't Lois Lane. LatinoReview.com claimed that the role was Ursa, the Kryptonian villainess. But Diane Kruger told MTV that the rumours were false, saying, "I don't know who launched them, but it's not true." Then Deadline.com revealed that Rosamund Pike has been cast in the role of Andromeda for the sequel to Clash of the Titans. So you have to wonder whether this Ursa rumour has any truth to it at all. TMZ.com claimed that troubled actress Lindsay Lohan is up for a role in a new movie as well, saying while it isn't Lois Lane, we hear it could be a major character. Personally, I don't see it happening. Her involvement and ability to remain a responsible member of a cast is dubious to say the least. Perhaps her name came up simply because she has double L initials. Anyway, in some actual news, the LA Times caught up with director Zack Snyder and asked him what his Superman archetypal preference is. He said, "My taste level goes to the more muscular Superman, the bigger, more muscular Superman, the way Jim Lee draws him." Snyder also mentioned Curt Swan as being one of his favourite Superman artists. While UK magazine SFX asked Snyder if he could tell us how his Superman will differ from previous movies, he replied, "I can't really talk about that without being kind of specific, but I can say I think Superman needs to be physical." We're happy to report that Ilya Salkind, the producer of the first 3 Superman films, has been released from a Mexican hospital where he was treated for head injuries. He's expected to return to the US very soon. In TV news, Jim Bennett has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the most recent Season 10 episode, Collateral. Douglas Trumbull and Julian Finn have written their reviews for this episode, with Julian giving it a 2 out of 5, while Doug liked it a little better, giving it a 4 out of 5 rating. Beacon, the 13th episode of Season 10 of Smallville, airs tonight, Friday, February 11th, at 8 PM on the CW. In this episode, Clark sees his mum get shot while watching her speak at a pro-vigilante rally on TV. To raise his spirits, Lois and Chloe share videos in support of the Blur with Clark. Elsewhere, Lionel Luthor comes forth and reclaims his company from Oliver and Tess. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. The CW released the official spoiler-filled description for Fortune, the 15th episode of this season of Smallville. In this episode, Zatanna sends a magically spiked bottle of champagne to Clark and Lois for their bachelorette parties. The gang blacks out after the toast, only to wake up the next morning and realise they can't remember anything about the night before. Fortune is scheduled to air on Friday, February 25th. The CW also released the official description for Scion, the 16th episode in which Lionel and Tess go head-to-head in a battle for the Luthor name. Clark and Lois are stunned by Tessa's latest present to them. Scion is scheduled to air on Friday, March 4th. It was also officially announced that Smallville would end its 10-season run with a 2-hour series finale. The press release states, "We're excited to be able to make the final moments of Smallville a television event as the character we've grown up with makes his legendary transformation." The movie-length series finale will air on Friday, May 13th. GiveMeMyRemote.com posted an interview with Smallville executive producer Brian Peterson, which they asked him whether or not we'll see Clark wearing the Superman costume. He said, "We're definitely going to address both the Clark Kent identity and the Superman identity, and so that identity is a big topic of discussion in creating the season finale." Superman homepage writers Barry Fryman and John Wilson updated our Young Justice animated series episode guide with a summary of Season 1 episodes Drop Zone and Schooled. The boys also handed in their reviews for these 2 episodes, with Drop Zone getting a 3 out of 5 rating, while Schooled rated a high 5 out of 5. Cartoon Network and DC Entertainment have released the episode description for Infiltrator, tonight's new episode of Young Justice, airing at 7 PM on Cartoon Network. In this episode, newcomer Artemis must prove herself to the team, though she has an uphill battle winning over her new teammates. Look for our episode summary and review in the next few days. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes from the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Come to the site now to read his review of the Season 4 episode The Wedding of Superman, in which Lois dreams about being saved and married to the Man of Steel. When DC Comics announced Superman was going to be walking across the USA to reconnect with its people, one of the stops on his journey was supposed to be Omaha, Nebraska. However, Omaha.com reports that residents of the city were disappointed when they opened Superman 708 to find out that the man has still skipped over them to visit Lincoln instead. Comic books we reviewed this week included Superboy number 4, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said, "So many questions that add so much to an already fantastic book," and he gave it a 5 out of 5 rating. Adam also reviewed Superman 80-page Giant 2011 number 1, giving it an overall 4 out of 5 rating, saying, "If you haven't picked this up, you ought to." DC Universe Online Legends number 1 was reviewed by Jeffrey Taylor, who gave it a 4 out of 5 rating, while James Lance reviewed Time Master's Vanishing Point number 6, giving it a 3 out of 5, saying, "I expected more from the final product." Superman comics and other items shipping this week from February 9th include DC Universe Legacies number 9, which is available in a variant cover, Superman 708, also available in a variant cover, Steel number 1 second printing, Superman Mon-El Volume 1 trade paperback, Teen Titans Hunt for Raven trade paperback, and DC Universe Online Superman statue. In other news, animator and Superman fan Rob Pratt animated a short fan film titled Superman Classic, combining classic elements from Superman through the ages. The coolest part is that TV Superboy John Haymes Newton was kind enough to voice the role of Clark Kent Superman for the short. It's fantastic, you really should check it out in full. That's all the Superman news there was for the week February 4th to February 10th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone, welcome to Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. It's good to see you. There's a Batman poster behind me. The reason for this is that I've decided it is time to discuss my take on the Nolan team with their take on the new Superman movie. When this was announced that Nolan would be kind of a godfather to the project, I can't tell you how incredibly worried I became. I know that I'm one of the few, one of the very, very, very few. If there are any others, please contact me at my email address because I feel so alone out here. One of the few that did not enjoy very much the 2 Batman films helmed by Nolan. I know, but back down off your soapbox. I just want to say that I find them personally, I know that darkness was something that they're going for, but I think they are incredibly down, very, very downers of a movie, and also mainly explosions, effects, cool gadgets, and many things that we see Batman doing, but not a whole lot of story. And the reason that I bring all of this up is not to make this about bashing Batman films, but is to express my concern over what might happen with the new Superman movie. I believe that Batman required more character work and more story, and I really hope that they can manage to do that with the new Superman movie. Now, hopefully, with Goyer writing the script, we'll see some of that. I'm also a little worried about Snyder, whose films a lot of times seem to be about flashy substance and not a whole lot about character, although The Watchmen did bring me around a little bit, so hopefully we can see a little more of that and maybe even better that one more step. I'm concerned, but I do know that Warner Brothers certainly trusts these guys, and of course money talks, so their business has done incredibly well with the Batman franchise, so I don't expect them to be making too many changes, and that's the other concern that I have. They may say, look, keep what works, why fix something? And Superman needs to be much brighter, much more about a character-driven guy who has great values, who wants to do great things to help people, and not about a lot of brooding or terrible things happening to someone again and again and again and bringing them down, and yet in the end they don't really get any kind of gratification. They instead get torn down even further. The villains can be dark, the situation can be grim, but Superman needs to be about positivity and brightness in the face of that darkness, as opposed to more and more darkness, more and more downers, and just leaving the theater with a depressed feeling. So I hope, and I'm not saying it's over with, I'm sure that they can do it. Good luck, guys, and I really hope that we get a good Superman movie this time around. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky.